Welcome to the Bible Unfolded. I am so happy to have you here with me today. I had been off and could not make videos these past few days because my health was bad. But thank the Almighty God that I am back again. For now, I will still share teachings and Bible studies with you and when I get the strength. Please bear with me. I want you to also feel comfortable and enjoy every video I make with dedication and love. The name Ezekiel means God will strengthen or God will prevail, just like the prophet Jeremiah. Ezekiel was both a priest and a prophet. These prisoners were spread out and settled in different communities all over Babylon. They were able to organize themselves and practice their religion freely. About 5 years later, when Ezekiel was around 30 years old, he was still in captivity. That's when God chose him to be a prophet. Ezekiel's prophecies and messages lasted for 16 years after the fall of Jerusalem, covering a period of about 22 years in total. In today's video, we will explore the story of the prophet Ezekiel and the important messages he received from God. Ezekiel's main job was to be a watchman or a guard on behalf of God. His messages were mostly directed towards the cities of Jerusalem and Judah. In fact, these two places are mentioned 23 times in the first 24 chapters of the book of Ezekiel. One interesting thing to note is that the phrase House of Israel appears 78 times in the book, while the House of Judah is only mentioned 5 times. Many people think these terms refer to the same group of people, but that's not quite accurate. All Jewish people are Israelites, but not all Israelites are Jewish. You see, the 10 tribes that made up the northern kingdom of Israel were captured by the Assyrian Empire about 130 years before Ezekiel's time. But the southern kingdom of Judah remained. Ezekiel sometimes used the term House of Israel in a broader way, especially in the first 24 chapters, where he was clearly speaking to the Jewish people living in Jerusalem. God warned the house of Israel through Ezekiel that they were in big trouble if they didn't stop their idol worship and sinful ways. He told the people in very clear terms that if they didn't listen to his warnings, they would be held responsible and face the consequences. Like all the other prophets, Ezekiel didn't just bring a message of doom and gloom. He also declared that after the people of Israel had suffered and been punished for their rebellion, God would one day return to bring a time of unmatched peace and harmony among all nations. As the King of all kings and Lord of all lords, God would come back to establish his fair and righteous rule over the world. To really understand Ezekiel's prophecies, we need to know a bit about the history of the Israelites. From the time of Moses to the reign of King Solomon, which was about 500 years, the 12 tribes of Israel were united as one nation. But shortly after Solomon died, the nation split into two. The northern 10 tribes continued to be called Israel, while the southern tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and part of Levi became the nation of Judah. These two nations lived in the land that God had given them. The northern kingdom of Israel was eventually conquered and taken into captivity by the Assyrian Empire. From there, these 10 tribes scattered and became known as the lost tribes of Israel, lost to history for many centuries. The southern kingdom of Judah lasted a little longer, but their sins became so terrible that God finally punished them too, sending them into captivity in Babylon. Before we dive deeper into Ezekiel's specific prophecies, I want to let you know that I won't be explaining all the meanings right now. That would take a really long time. Many of these prophecies refer to both literal, real-life events, as well as symbolic, deeper spiritual meanings, kind of like the books of Daniel and Revelation in the Bible. Gradually, I'll share video clips that explain these important topics in more detail. For now, let's focus on the first prophecy, found in chapters 4-7 of the book of Ezekiel. In chapter 4, God told Ezekiel to make a model of the city of Jerusalem and then attack it. Then Ezekiel had to lie down on his left side for 390 days, representing 390 years of evil from the house of Israel. After that, he had to lie on his right side for 40 days, carrying the guilt of the house of Judah. This symbolic act is mentioned in a few other prophecies as well. Chapter 5 contains one of the most intense prophecies in the whole Bible, the prophecy of the barbers. Ezekiel described how God would punish the city of Jerusalem for its sins. 1/3 of the people would die from famine and disease. Another third would be killed by the sword, and the remaining third would be scattered into captivity. This prophecy serves as a serious warning about what will happen to modern-day nations of Israel in the future. Chapter 6 repeats the judgments that will come upon Israel, adding the phrase, "And you will know that I am the Lord." Chapter 7 clarifies that these prophecies against Jerusalem, Judah, and Israel are for the end times, including the period called the Day of the Lord's Wrath, the time just before Jesus Christ returns and takes control of the world. The prophet Isaiah calls this the day of the Lord's vengeance, the year of recompense. In chapters 8-9, God brings charges against Jerusalem and Israel. Chapter 8 talks about pagan, idol-worshipping practices that had become rooted in the religion of many Israelites, even within Christianity. In chapter 9, God makes a distinction between the ordinary, sin-burdened citizens of Israel and those who were deeply saddened by the nation's sins. The ones who grieved over the sins would be protected by God, while the others would face judgment. Chapter 10 gives Ezekiel a glimpse into the powerful spiritual world and the mighty angels called cherubim. In chapter 11, there is an invasion of the temple, and the fate of Jerusalem represents the future fate of the nation of Israel in the days leading up to Jesus' second coming. Chapter 12 describes both the ongoing exile happening in Ezekiel's time, as well as a future end-time invasion. Many of Ezekiel's prophecies have a double fulfillment, meaning they point to events in the past, as well as events still to come. The third set of prophecies, found in chapters 20-23, contains more accusations against Israel for breaking God's laws. The breaking of the Sabbath is highlighted in chapter 20 and repeated in chapter 20 to verse 8 of Ezekiel's book. Keeping the Sabbath holy was a sign that the people were obedient to God. In chapter 24, God allowed Ezekiel's beloved wife to die, but He did not let Ezekiel mourn her openly. This was a sign that the people of Israel would die on a massive scale, and their traditional mourning rituals would be impossible, a prophecy of the terrible disaster that was coming. Chapters 25 to 32 mainly focus on God's judgments against the nation of Egypt. Although the kingdom of Babylon is mentioned in the first part of chapter 33, God explains that he is talking about the role of the watchmen of the house of Israel, who are responsible for declaring God's warnings to the people. The second set of prophecies, found in chapters 33 to 39, contain a mix of restored rule, forgiveness, and redemption for Israel. Chapter 30 portrays God as the great shepherd of Israel. Chapter 36 promises a new birth and a new nature for Israel. Chapter 37 describes the return of Israel's scattered people in one of the most famous visions in the Bible. It also shows the regathering of the lost tribes of Israel. Chapters 38 to 39 talk about the battle of Gog and Magog, which many scholars believe will happen shortly before or after Jesus returns to the earth. The final set of prophecies, chapters 40 to 48, describe the new temple and its rededication during the millennium, the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Chapter 47 contains a powerful prophecy about a river of living water flowing from the temple, symbolizing the outpouring of the Holy Spirit on God's people in his kingdom. That's all for today. Thank you to everyone who stayed with me until the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. God's peace and grace be with you all until next time.